Hello, lovely people. A very warm welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well by God's grace. So today I'm going to be sharing with you this delicious stew. It's very, very simple. It's beef corned beef stew. Yeah, I know that. Beef corned beef stew. And this is loaded. I tell you, trust me, you're going to love this recipe. Okay. So if you're new here, a warm welcome. And the returning subscribers, welcome back. I hope you enjoy this. So without much ado, let's just get into the recipe. Okay, so I'll start with my ingredients. So here I have cinnamon stick, some chopped red onions, and then some green chilies. Here I have a blend of garlic, ginger, onions, anise seeds, and chili. Okay, this is my stock from my beef that I steamed, and my tomatoes that I'm going to be using for the stew here, right? So I'm also going to be using these fresh vegetables, okay, some onions, green and red pepper for garnishing at the end, right? So here comes my corned beef. I'll explain more about the kinds of corned beef that I use, and I have here some bacon lardons, okay, that I'm also going to add to amplify the flavors, okay. So here is my beef that I'm going to steam, okay, right? So I'm adding some of the blend I showed you earlier to steam it, right? So I've poured some in and I've washed it. I always wash the bottle. Is it a bottle? Yeah, let's call it a bottle. It's okay. And I'm adding salt to it, okay, so just to taste. And I'm going to steam this, and then once this is nicely cooked, it has to be cooked, okay, because in Ghana we like our meat cooked, very, very cooked, just in case there's anything in there, we kill it before it gets in. So once it's cooked, I'm going to be frying this, and I'll set it aside, and then we'll add it to our corned beef stew later. So it's nicely done, and here I'm going to be adding some sunflower oil to my pot, and I'll start by frying the beef, as I said, mentioned earlier, right? So typically back home, or typically corned beef stew is just corned beef. You don't add anything, but I just thought to add a few things. So you can add anything that you want, whatever you have. You have sausages, you have whatever you want, you add it. So here I'm adding in just a pinch of bicarbonate of soda, just to stop the splatter. Okay, so when you fry meat or whatever and there's a lot of splatter, I want to reduce it, add a little bit of bicarbonate, and that will be good. Okay, so now my beef is nicely fried, and I'm just setting that aside. Okay, so here, because there's some oil in the corned beef, I realized that the oil here is a lot, so I just poured some off so that it wouldn't be too much oil. So here goes in my chili, my cinnamon stick, and my red onions. Okay, so corned beef still needs a lot of chili, otherwise you get this funny aftertaste. It's like eyenyai. I don't know how to say that in English, but I've never known how to say that. So if you know it, I'll be happy to know down below. Let me know. So eyenyai, so I'll taste it. So I've added my bay leaf there, and here goes in my bacon lardons. I decided to add this so that there's a lot more bite. It's like as you're eating, you know that I'm eating something very delicious. It's like you're tasting every bite, you are chewing things. It's just a very, amazing experience. It's just unique experience where you're eating food and you're chewing a lot of meat here and there. So that is my idea. Okay, so I just fry it for a few minutes, and once that is a little bit, it doesn't go so much crispy at all. It doesn't get crispy at all. I just add in the rest of my blend, the earlier blend, the one that I use some to steam my beef, the same one that is going. It's got all the spices in there. I think I added some star anise as well. I think I didn't mention that. So yeah, to give it that nice flavor. And I'll add some how do we call it? So here my tomatoes is going in now. I actually added all of it here. I thought was going to be too much, so I added all of it later, which I didn't show. Well, I've shown. I thought I didn't show it, but yeah, as you can see, I added all of it. So yeah, I was saying something. It's just gone. Can't remember, so I'll just leave it as it is. But yeah, so I stir it and then I cover it for it to simmer. Okay, so let's just go into the corned beef. So the corned beef that we have here, the one I have here is very soft. By the time you finish your stew, it will all disintegrate. And I have a very bitter experience with that. One day when I was young, about 20 so like years old, and I made this stew for a friend, and my friend came and Charlie, the blasting that I got, I was sitting surprised. Like me, I've used my own money to cook my food. Come and eat some. If insulted me on top to say that I don't know how to make corned beef stew and that all the corned beef has disintegrated in the stew and that there should be chunks in it. Can you imagine? So my corned beef here, the first bit that I have chopped is very soft. So those ones will go in first. And this is a different brand, which is very firm. So those ones will go in, late or last, so that that thing that my friend told me, will materialize here for them to know, say, Charlie, we have upgraded in the corned beef stew making. Okay. So now we make it and still there is fine chunks of corned beef in it. So I'm just chopping it into big chunks, which I will add later as you will see me do. Okay, so my stew is been simmering for about 10 minutes, right? Because I want the tomatoes to be cooked through, right? I don't like fresh tomatoes. I don't like to taste fresh tomatoes in my stew. That is me. I want it like, to be cooked. So I just cook it down a bit, give it a stir, and add. So here I just needed to add my stock because the stock has a lot of flavors. You don't want to throw your stock away. Either you save it for something else or you add it to your stew because it has to form part of the stew because the meat is also there. So that is what is happening. You add your stock and that is it. So you just stir and cover it for it to simmer for a bit. And once it's simmered, like as you can see here, it's simmered and the water is all evaporated, is reduced, and is we are good to go. So the next thing is what I'll be doing is to add my corned beef. Okay, so my corned beef will go in next. But before then, I'm adding my nutmeg. Okay, so yeah, I'm adding my nutmeg. Nutmeg goes in certain stews in my house, like corned beef stew. Nutmeg is going in because it gives me a very homely flavors, homely um, aroma that reminds me of my mom and home. So I always love to add the and the taste too is amazing. Trust me. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, my corned beef goes in. This corned beef is going to disintegrate by the end of the day. You will see, and there is oil in it. You see the oil, the white bit. It's all oil. That's why I reduced the oil that I started with. Okay, so once this one simmers for a few moments. So here what I'm doing is I'm adding black pepper. This is just to reduce the nyanya that I said, that aftertaste that comes with corned beef. Is this, but when you add a bit of black pepper to the corned beef, it takes out some of the taste. It doesn't take it out completely, but some of it. So that's why I added it at this time and not earlier, so that it will sort of do its job nicely. Okay, so I'll leave this to simmer. By the time I come back, all the corned beef has melted nicely, right? And then we'll add the rest because this corned beef is soft. But I got another brand that is harder, that is firmer, that you see me add in a moment. Okay. This stew is very simple, nothing to think about. It's just straightforward, and just all that you need to do at this point, remember to reduce your heat, reduce it to medium. I mean, actually low heat will do because unless you have your pot is not one that catches, because mine is non-stick, it doesn't really catch, but it can really burn. Corned beef has a tendency of burning at the bottom, so it can burn and then you'll be in trouble there. Okay, so it will just all be a mess and you have to transfer it or anything. So put it on low to be on the safer side. So I just added some salt. Back then, some of the Exeter corned beef is salty, so you have to finish before you add your salt. This is not so salty, but it's okay. It's not as salty as you know Exeter, but you have to add salt to your own taste. So I've just done that. So as you can see, the stew is popping nicely, and as judging by the way I'm stirring, I think I got a bit of burnt bottom, right? But it wasn't so much, so I was able to salvage it. Just take all that bit out, and then it's worked perfectly. You don't know cooking. What cooking can do to you? You can be the expert chef, but cooking can still, if you take your eyes off the the pot, it will disappoint you. Be you believe. Anyway, so I've added my beef, right, and give it a stir, and then I'll add my corned beef. Okay, so this is, I mean, my firm corned beef, the last bit. So you add it. So at the end of the cooking, you find that these chunks will still be in. And then my friend has said that I don't know how to cook the corned beef stew. They'll be ashamed wherever they are. And shame on you for saying that you don't have money to eat. Well, actually, not money to eat. You have money to eat, but like, I've made food that for you to come and eat summer. You've come to insult me. This is like when I was 20, so many years ago. But I still remember. So I'm adding my vegetables, my white onions and my red and green peppers. This is just to garnish it. It makes it look beautiful. And also when you eating it and you bite into them, it's so delicious. The crunch, give it texture. And your food is like yay. So that is it. It's all done. And this, you can serve it with yam. Actually, I served it with yam and rice. So those who like yam will eat yam. Those who like rice will eat rice. But it goes perfectly with whatever you want. You can eat it with kenke. You get your garibi, you soak it, like you make it a bar. You can balance it with it. It's just perfect. This stew, very delicious. So yeah, so that is it. It's all done. And thank you all for joining me today. And I'm so grateful that you came. And if you like what you see, please subscribe and come back again for more delicious recipe. Okay, like give me a thumbs up if you like it as well. Just like this video for me. Okay, so thank you all, and God bless you for always sticking around. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.